Hey, welcome to another episode of the Not Scrum Done podcast. I'm your co-host, Andriana Marshall, and that's my amazing co-host.
Grand Scrum Master Scott.
Today, we're going to answer a question that was submitted to us, which is, should I take a class or do self-study? And I'm assuming this is in regards to obviously the PSM1 because that's what we teach. And that's, I believe, is one of the only ones that you can actually do self-study. This depends on your budget and your goals. I've definitely had people reach out to me and they say, how do I study? I give them study material. I help them. It's okay if you don't take my class. I'm still willing to help you and build a relationship. And you can reach out to either of us on LinkedIn. We both help out people. Typically, it's a financial thing. Like, it is not cheap to take a live course. Absolutely not. Self-study, you can typically get a cheaper course or not take a course at all. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube, even our channel, that you can learn a lot of this material. And obviously, the Scrum Guide is what the PSM1 is based off of. Now, there are some other things with like nuance because you do need to understand and link the concepts together. And I will say the class helps you do that. At least the scrum.org classes, it's not theory. It's practical experience. You're doing a lot of activities and a lot of exercises. I hear a lot of times people say the class is only theory. They've never been to one. And I can tell because of what they're saying. So that is a reason to take the class. I will say connections are another reason to take the class. Funny enough, I ended up working with someone that I took my class. So we didn't even live in the same city at the time. I lived in LA. She lived in the Bay Area. She came down to LA to take the class. We were in the same class. We built up a relationship, just like online, staying connected. And then I moved to Oregon and she was already in Oregon working at Nike. And so we both ended up working at Nike as well. And then you get a connection with the teacher. At least both of us, we do offer free one-on-ones for anyone that takes our class. So you also have that where I've looked at people's resumes. I've helped them get a job just on that one call. You give me your resume, I look at it, I tell you how to change it, you go change it. You'll end up having a much better resume and some tools that will actually help you. Those are some reasons I would say taking the class. It does also accelerate your learning. Self-studying, a lot of people end up falling off and delaying, but I think either is fine. I've seen people be very successful in both ways. What do you think, Scott?
You gave a plethora of good points. Many of you already know that I did self-study. And for those of you who don't know, I did self-study. I wrote down in December that I want to be a Scrum Master, leading project management. And 6 months from that date, I wrote it down. I want to be a Scrum Master. So there I began my journey to study 4 hours a day. Self-study. I went on through everything on the scrum.org site, toppers, anything that I can find on the website, because that was a certification that I was looking to take. So I really just lasered focused on everything on scrum.org. Nobody had to tell me that. Don't go anyplace else. I would highly recommend that whatever certification you're seeking, stay on that site. That way you can, drown out the noise, what may be going on outside of that. So I was all scrum.org, just doing the self-study. And then I knew I had to have a certification to get into this game. I did self-study. And then when I took a class, a PSM1 class, the only reason I took that class was because now I'm becoming a professional Scrum trainer. And as a part of that track, I have to take the class in order to teach it. Makes sense, right? Exactly. So when I took that class, I was there with regular students, not just PSTs. It was a beautiful experience. After those 2 days, I look back and I'm like, if I had taken this class months ago, as Andriana said, I could have expedited my journey because I would have known specifically where do I need to go, and I can assess where am I at. That's typically what I'm doing when you come to my class is I'm showing you what nirvana and the promised land is. And during the class, we're going to assess, okay, where you are in terms of your skill set. And by the time you leave the class, you should be able to, I'm here and this is the finish line. Okay, what are the gaps? And then after class, you know specifically what you need to go work on. However, if you're doing self-study, you don't know if you're going down the wrong path because there's so much agile and scrub stuff out there. How do you know if you're going on the right path? How do you know if you're learning the right information? And here's an example for you. I had a female friend when I was doing self-study. She was talking all about design thinking, design thinking. And here's my question. Who's using design thinking? I don't know. That would just happen to be the buzzword during the time. DevOps, DevOps. Who's using DevOps? I don't know. You see, don't learn stuff just to be learning. I'm learning stuff for a purpose, and I know the class is certainly a way for you to succinctly figure out what you need to know to be effective in this great game and hit the ground running.
Thanks, everyone. Whether you should take a class or do self study is ultimately up to you. I think we talked about some key things: budget, making sure you have the right source. I think that's probably the key in making sure, even training wise, like what's in that training. Is it interactive? Is it about practical learning and experience? Both Scott and I can say truthfully and honestly, that's how all the classes at scrum.org are. And they are updated regularly. It's frequently updated based on your feedback and also professional Scrum trainer feedback. So it's not something that just sits there and it's been the same for 5 years. Absolutely not. And we are required to make sure that we update it based on that feedback. So hopefully that helps you. If you have any more questions, feel free. Our information is below. You can reach out to either one of us and we'll make sure that we can help you in any way possible. If you made it to the end of this video, that means you have an attention span greater than a goldfish.
Be legendary, everyone, but not scrum down. See you in the next episode.